that one there. I'm going to try this again. So, need some help from you guys. I'm going to take a moment to see where this goes to. Probably give it a minute. I don't know if anybody's going to hop on. It's been over a year since I went live on YouTube, so we'll see what the response is. Not looking good. We're at the 30-second mark. Nobody's even hopped on. I guess it's one of these things that Facebook, or excuse me, YouTube means with staying engaged with your audience. Of course, I don't know how long it takes to get the notification out either. Oh, we have one. One that's hopping on. All right, well, if there's only one person on here, I'm going to make sure. I thought it would tell me the person's name, but apparently it doesn't. So I'm doing this on all my platforms, guys. I'm going to be really quick with this right here. Oh, it's Glenn. There we go. Good evening. Thoughts of an Old Soldier. Hello, sir. How are you? So, guys, just want to get your opinion on something really quickly. If you've been following the channel for the last couple of months, you know that my wife and I purchased about 45 acres. Our intent for that property is to turn it into our homestead. We now stay in a subdivision, and we stay in a subdivision now, and we're looking to go to a more rural lifestyle. And we have an issue that seems to keep reoccurring. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit of backstory on that. So if you'll stick around to listen to that, I think you'll be able to give me some insight on what you would do, because I'm really looking forward to the feedback you guys have from there. So backstory, my wife and I purchased this 45 acres about a month or two ago. Within the first weekend or two of owning the property, my wife and I went out there to do some work on the property. There's one trail that runs through the center of this 45 acres. It's bordered by a stream on one side and a very, very small subdivision on the other. After we did our work, moving some trees, clearing trails, that kind of thing, we started putting out our no trespassing signs. As we were putting out our no trespassing signs, a kind lady meets us on the trail on the property we own and asks what we're doing on our property. Now, we have a conversation with this lady, letting her know that the previous landowner has sold the property to us. And because that property being sold, the previous agreements they had for her to frequent this property are no longer in place, and we wish for her not to be on the property. So there's two forms of notice right there. She was verbally told not to be on the property, as well as she saw me posting the no trespassing signs to the trees that are conspicuously placed all around her property where it transitions into mine. Now, again, she stays in a subdivision, maybe has a, quarter acre lot, and it's full of signage going back to our property where those two properties abut. Fast forward a couple weeks, and I have a logging crew out there because my wife and I have decided to timber certain sections of the 45 acres to make room for our home sites and some other projects we're looking to do, farm fields, all that kind of stuff. My logging crew is out there marking off the property on where certain things to be cut at. Sure enough, they're walking down the trail, and there comes Miss Trespasser. Miss Trespasser inquires what they're doing there. And they reply back with the same. She's not taking very well to this change. So fast forward another 2 weeks to today. Today, my wife and I visited the property because we had our road cut today, or our road started being cut today, and one of our open fields was cut, and we just want to go out and look at the progress of things after work today. So maybe about 6 o'clock, 6:30, somewhere along in there. My wife and I are touring our property, just kind of looking to see what's going on. And I feel this death stare. I feel this stare going right through me. So my wife's 2 or 3 feet in front of me, and I say, "Hey, honey, is somebody looking at me?" And she just nods her head, and she said, "Yeah, it's her." Her was staring at me from, I don't know, it's so far away I couldn't tell if she was on my property or hers. But she was staring at me from 200 plus yards away. So, I welcome inquiry. If you have a question about what's going on, to a certain degree, I don't mind entertaining what you have to say or your cares or concerns. I don't mean I'll act upon them, but at least they'll be heard. So I make my way across this 200 yards to go speak to this not so young lady. I'm kind of wondering if that might be some of the issues we're having here. Um, I would say she's probably roughly 80 years old, and the previous landowner, she said they had an agreement from nearly 20 years ago that she could use the property in a certain fashion. So I make my way across this 200 yards, and she goes back into her home and looks at me through her glass door intently as I just kind of meander around the property line, wondering if she's going to come back out. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to send her a letter and just kind of send her a certified letter, get receipt of that letter, showing that we've advised her on numerous occasions not to enter the property. And guys, I do not want to do this. I do not want to bring up trespassing charges on an 80-year-old. I don't want to bring up trespassing charges on anybody. I will, but I don't want to. I'm looking at some of the stuff down in the comments you guys are putting below, and I appreciate what you're saying. I mean, a lot of this stuff I've already looked at, but I'd never thought when my wife and I started the purchase process for this property back in January, I never thought I would be worried about putting up game cameras to catch an 80-year-old trespassing on my property. I was worried about everything else, equipment being stolen, people riding ATVs and just tearing up my road, and just mischievous things like that. But I have this lady that won't stay off my property. I don't want her getting hurt and falling somewhere on the property, and then I don't want that. She looks like she may have some bit of mobility issues. So I don't want her to trip and fall and be on my place. I mean, I'm not worried about any liability there. She's been warned to stay out. I've asked her not to go in. The signs are posted. It's very evident. I've documented everything on here that on the occasions that I've asked her not to do it. I have witnesses that have seen such. I just don't know how to deal. I mean, guys, we're not talking about like a 30-year-old just doing this stuff and they're just trying to, well, I mean, I guess age is irrespective of the issue here, but it's just one of those things you're like, I don't really want to do this. Who wants to who wants to see an 80-year-old in a courtroom? I don't want to go to court. I got better things to do besides going to court. Guys, this is a huge learning process for me. My wife has coined it so well, and I think that I'll always refer to it when talking about activities around this land. When we were walking on the property the first couple of days after we purchased it, and we started noticing just little things, guys, not even real material things. Right now, today, knock on, well, this is granite, but knock on granite, the biggest issue we've had is this 80-year-old trespasser. My wife said, we might have just inherited a host of problems. And though the land has been a great joy and we look forward to the future of it, we're roughly 2 months in and we're already like, hey, lady, knock it off or I'm calling the cops type deal. So, and I'll be honest with you, there's a part of me that wants to extend some grace and just hope it'll fizzle out. But hope leaves a lot of uncertainties. I mean, can you imagine being 80 years old, maybe since you retired at 60 or so, that you've walked this trail every day and you've done your little nature activities? I mean, I understand she doesn't own it. I'm not bestowing any pity upon her or pour her this or pour her that. But I imagine for the last 20 years, this has been an integral part of her life, walking down this trail and just enjoying wildlife as a little bit of a retreat from a subdivision. I mean, I don't even have a house out there. I mean, there's nothing on the land. There's nothing. I left my rake. There's a rake on the land. I left my rake out there. I like going out there to just be with me and my rake away from the subdivision. So anyway, guys, I know this is a little bit of a abnormal video. I'm not really one to get on YouTube and go live, but I think I might be doing a little bit more often, especially for some of you guys, just seeking out what you guys have had to do before with particular situations that you've been engaged with. I can see that, Wes. I can see that. I'm looking to entertain all perspective you guys have. I'm not saying what I mean, I think that I'm echoing a lot of what you guys have set out to do. I'm definitely going to send the letter over, certified mail, so I can see that she receives it. And once she receives it, I'll just kind of add that to the file. I have game cameras up out there. To be honest with you, I haven't checked to see if I have imagery of her going onto the property. But in North Carolina, my the charges can be brought by me seeing her, and obviously I can snap a quick picture with my phone. But I'm telling you guys, it really just was. It was an eerie feeling today, being stared down by an 80-year-old. It was one of the odder things. I mean, it's not like I'm scared she's gonna kick in my door and go upstairs and drag me out of bed and beat me up or anything like that. But um, it's odd. It's eerie. Sort of creepy. I know that when I talked to her before, she said that in the afternoons she would take a walk on the trail and feed some of the wildlife. And I was kind of tempted to go out there today and just gently let her know, please don't come back here again. But we'll see. I'm going to read the comments thoroughly and see what you guys suggested, and we're going to go from there. Thanks for the input. Listen, guys, I'm going to go try to work on some other content. I know I've been slacking. This homestead and stuff is taking up a lot of time. On top of being a dad, but I've been inspired by a couple people to do some unique projects here as of late. So I'm gonna get those in the works, and we'll talk with you later. Thanks for watching. As always, plink responsibly. I don't remember how to end this video. This is gonna be bad.